Hello, hello. It's 11:35. 11:35, and you are tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station, kinetichifi.com. It is Relationship Tuesday. We are talking relationships, and it is time to talk some more about relationships. This segment of the show is Heart Talk. This is the talk portion of our show. This is where we come to renew our minds and restore our hearts. And this segment is brought to you by my new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. You can pre-order your copy at theheartconnections.com, theheartconnections.com. I am so thankful to be here with you guys today, just really enjoying and thinking about this whole idea of relationship. In this segment of relationships, I want to talk about your relationship with yourself. I know the next hour we're going to talk about relationship with others in regards as it, references like romantic relationships and those types of relationships. I personally feel like we're in a space right now. Where we're so focused on making relationships work with other people, but we have not invested any time, even a little bit of time, into really building a relationship with ourselves. I talked about the foundational relationship, your relationship with God, but now I want you to think about, how do you feel about yourself? What is the connection that you have to yourself, your identity, not your physical body, which I mean that as well. How do you feel when you look in the mirror? But I want you thinking about, what do you think about yourself? Do you feel like you're a burden? Do you think that you're someone that's an asset to people? Or are you a liability? Because how you feel about yourself, it directly affects how you interact with others and how they're going to treat you. A lot of times we feel like people are hurting us or taking advantage of us, but they're only mirroring how we really feel about ourselves. I want you to think about that. So this segment is about us talking about relationship with ourselves. The definition of relationship is the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. The state of being connected by blood or marriage. The way in which two or more people or organizations regard and behave towards each other. Relationship. How do you behave towards yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you feel like you're a blessing, or do you feel like you're a curse? And I need you to think about that, because depending on how you feel about that, that determines how the quality of any other relationship you're going to have. I know a lot of people who make a lot of money, but they are miserable. And I know a lot of people who don't make a lot of money, but they're very, very happy. And I want you to think about this. How do you feel about yourself on the inside? Just like a charger has to connect to when you think about your phone, you don't think, oh, a charger is the most important thing, because the phone is so expensive. But if you don't have a charger, you can't get your phone to work. And I just want you to think about yourself. What's your relationship with yourself? How do you feel about you? What do you think about you? We have this understanding and idea about who we are, but many of us never sit down and consciously think about who we really are. We think about what we are. We think about, we think about what we are physically. Oh, I am a mother. I'm a radio show host. I am an author. I am a daughter. I am a sister. But who is the person that empowers those things? How do I feel about her? How do I feel about the Adelaide behind all of those things and all of those people? That's what I want you to think about. How do you feel about the you that empowers what everybody else is doing? Do you really value yourself and love yourself? Really? Do you really value and love yourself? Or are you putting more of that effort and energy into other people, but leaving it out from yourself? I just want you to think about these things. And posing these questions, because this is something I do a lot, even in my coaching practice. I do this because a lot of times when people start talking and they hear themselves talking about what's going on in their lives, they find that a lot of the lack, a lot of the hurt, a lot of the disappointment that they experience in their relationships is because they've already been feeling that way about themselves. So they've attracted various relationships in their lives. They've made various connections that only reestablish or reaffirm how they were already feeling, to just keep it going. We're talking like a charger and a cell phone. When you make these connections in these different relationships, if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you're going to charge up more foolishness, if that makes sense to you. You're not going to bring anything new to the phone. Like, I know the iPhone's always doing an update. I hear a lot of people complaining about those, but it's not like you're bringing something new and you're shifting it, like you're bringing a complete new program or interface to your computer. A lot of times what we do is we just charge up dysfunction. We fuel dysfunction because we keep pointing fingers at other people. Well, this person has an attitude problem, and this person left me and abandoned me, and this person doesn't value me. The question is, do you value yourself? Do you love yourself? You have a dream and an idea. You're angry with your friends and family for not supporting you, but how much have you put into your dream and idea? Are you waiting for someone else to come and do it for you? What's your relationship like with yourself? I want to hear from you, because I'm going to talk about relationships with men and women, and I'm going to share my opinion. It's my opinion. This is my platform to share my opinion. But before I get into that, I feel like a lot of times we want to put the cart before the horse. We want to talk about men and women and how women need to do this and men need to do that. Individuals need to heal first before they start adding to what they are and who they are. I was listening to someone speaking on the phone, on the radio, I think it was this morning, and he was just talking about the whole idea of marriage and coming into marriage, and how a husband and wife we leave to cleave, and how we should the husband and wife the husband and wife should leave their family to cleave, and the two become one. And a lot of times we like to focus on the two becoming one, but we don't want to focus on the one being whole before connecting with another individual prayerfully who's whole as well. What happens is we get so focused on the cleaving and the connection that we forget the importance of bringing all of ourselves into this relationship. And see, what happens is a lot of times we bring a lot of brokenness, we bring a lot of pieces into relationships, and we're looking for the other person to overcompensate or make up for what we don't have. That it doesn't work like that. You have to work on you. You have to establish a relationship within you, with yourself, where your self-talk is love and compassion and encouragement for yourself. When you make a mistake and you can say something like, "It's all right. Come on, we can do this. We can do this," instead of saying things when you make a mistake and talking to yourself, "Oh gosh, I'm always messing up. I'm always making a mistake." That's what I mean by, what type of relationship do you have yourself? Are you a perfectionist? Are you the type of person that can't do anything because if it's not perfect, you don't want to do it? That's pride. That shows that there's a lack of connection, that in certain areas of your life that you need to connect with God more. You need to charge that area up with functionality and productivity, and invest that in you before you decide that you want to go and charge up other people. What we often do is we overdraw our accounts to add cushion into other people's accounts. What do you mean by that, Adelaide? If you've ever been in a situation where you took more money out of your bank account than you had to give, you're overdrawing your account, but then you're deposited into someone's account who isn't even in the negative. You made yourself negative. You put yourself in a difficult situation just to make somebody else comfortable. That's usually a sign of how you feel about yourself, that you would sabotage your own peace and peace of mind to just comfort. It's nothing wrong with comfort. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to hear this wrong. But that's how many of us are being manipulated to not live on purpose and do what we need to do. We are investing too much of our time, energy, and lives into other people and other situations. that we don't need to be. I want you to really think about that. Seriously. So what are you bringing to you? What are you doing to build you up? What type of relationship do you have yourself? Do you care for yourself? Do you take the time to find out how you're doing and listen to your body and get still enough to allow your soul to have rest and have peace so that you can think right and properly interact with those around you? Because you're there, you're healthy emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. What's your relationship like with yourself? In what way are you regarding and behaving towards you? See, I know he might need to do better in a relationship and he's so hard to deal with and he's making your life so difficult. But what is he dealing with? What's on the other end of that? What's on the other side of that? If he was talking, if she were talking, what would she say about dealing with you? And you know, what's that dark side of you that you're hiding from? What are you running from? What are you trying to work and convince yourself of that's perfect or try to make other things look perfect because you feel so inadequate in that area? That area is a sign of your overall relationship with God. How willing are you to allow him into that dark area, into that deep space? Your relationship with yourself has everything to do with your relationship with God, with your relationship with the world around you. So don't get mad at your children, your parents, your brothers and sisters, your husband, your wife. You're ready to get a divorce, the third or fourth one. But the truth of the matter is, the person you're really trying to divorce is yourself. But it's so much easier to blame other people. I just want to encourage you. You're worth it. You matter. You're very important. And that's why you need to make sure that the concepts and the ideas that you have about yourself are in line with what God says about you. That's why that first relationship is so important. You need to know what God is saying about you so that you can know the truth for yourself. You think about it. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station with international inspiration, kinetichifi.com. Kelly Clarkson, Piece by Piece. We're talking about relationships today, guys. Shout out to Akira's giving me these wonderful earrings for Mother's Day. Natural beauty. Love you, Mama. I'll be taking pictures and posting them so y'all can see them. We'll be back with more after this. Stick around. Heart Connections, Chi High Five. All right, all right. Thank you guys so much for logging on. We're talking about your relationship with yourself, and I love to hear from you. What type of relationship do you have with yourself? Do you have a healthy relationship with yourself? Are you struggling with how you feel about yourself? What you see in the mirror? I want you to think about it. It's very important. How you feel about yourself impacts everything else in your life. So you think about that. We'll be back at 12:30 to talk about relationships with others, more specifically our romantic relationships, intimate relationships. So make sure, let the word, what am I saying? Let everybody know about the Heart Connections and the Heart Coach, Adelai Brown. And we'll be back. Love y'all.